Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. And today I have a video for you guys that's, I suppose, kind of been really lurking in the background. I have done a video like this before, but it's actually been 5 years. The last one of these were 5 years ago. And I'm not sure if the last one was as I would say, as detailed as this one will be. But yeah, as you can see from the title, this is my time travel favorites. My time travel books that I love so much. Now, you might say, because this is going to be quite a lot of books here, and you might say, isn't that kind of all your time travel books? Yeah, I suppose I'm kind of going to show you all of them. And honestly, I love them in different ways. Uh, Time travel for me is my jam. It's my big time buzzword. Anytime a time travel book is published, a time travel book is talked about, I'm like, oh, I have to check it out. But are all the time travel books out there my jam? No. For example, I don't really like Outlander. I know, but yeah, I don't really like it. So yeah, the ones that I own to this day are the ones that I love or ooh, with all of my heart. So, yeah, this is a good place for you to get to know my time travel book taste, for you to get some time travel book recommendations, or for you to just watch me be silly with this outfit. I'm having the hat because, well, I suppose slightly because it's sunny, but I suppose I don't really need it. It's not sunny right here, but also because it's kind of, I feel like it's old style ish hat, so yeah. And I have this dress just as a scarf because I feel like it's kind of retro. So yeah, sometimes I go all out and use costumes, as you might have seen, and that's what I'm doing today. So yeah, I am gonna do a bit of a again words. It's a bit of I'm gonna take you through my time travel journey. So I'm gonna start at the beginning, and then at the end there will be the last books that I've read by time travel. Also, yeah, at the end, I'm gonna talk about the last book that I finished. That was yesterday. That was a time travel book. So the very recent one, and yeah, so the recent one. That doesn't mean you loved it. Well, yes, I did love it. I did finish it recently, and I did so love it so much. I did so. Yeah, I did love it very much. So at the end, you'll get a little book review of that book, which is a first because I haven't talked about it before. Because I just finished it. So yeah, be excited for that. But that's at the end. Let's go back to beginning. Picture this. You're a young Renee. I'm gonna take you into my mind and what happened in my head. But yeah, you're a young Renee. It's the end of primary school, or like the last year of primary school. You've read more or less all the school library, at least it feels like it. You've read a lot from the public library, at least also it feels like it. And you've kind of grown out of the books that you kind of feel are available there. It's kind of like you don't really want to read them. Most of the books there tend to be about people who have cancer or people who have parents who are getting divorced. They're all just sad and depressive, and that's not really what you want to read. You want to read something fun and funny, but you kind of feel you're grown out of what made you laugh earlier. Nancy Drew, Bobsy books, Bobsy kids. Now you kind of want something different, and it's been half a year. It's been 6 months, and you can't be walking around like, oh, they're no good books, and you can't feel like maybe this is it. Maybe all the good books have been in my past. Maybe there's no good books in my future. Yes, this seems a bit dramatical, but that was honestly what I felt at the time. But then you walk to a flea market, which is always fun, and you find this book. Now, Okay, so the dealio is the I had yeah, okay, taking it out of the context, but yeah, it wasn't this book I bought because the book was lost to time, or I don't know, somewhere it went away. But it's this title. And yeah, you walk around, you look at all the books in the flea market, and you see this one book, Old Magic. Well, actually, technically, you see it in Norwegian. Farlig trolldom. At this point, didn't really read that much in English either. It's about this girl, 14. She is a witch, and she's outside of uh she lives on the outside. People always bully her, which the underdog, which you can relate to so much. And then there's this new guy in school. He's cute. Hmm. This looks interesting. You pick it up. It is Old Magic by Marion Curley. You pick it up, you read it, and your life is transformed. You get a new sense that books can be amazing, that there are still books out there that are amazing. But you also understand, like, time travel, such a cool thing to read about in books. It's just so cool. Before this, you have watched Back to the Future, but that's kind of well, you've seen a bit of Doctor Who, so you have seen some time travel media, but you haven't read it in books. And honestly, this book changes your life. And yeah, this book gave me faith back in books. It gave me faith back in life in a way. And it gave me my love for time travel books. I love this book so dang much. So they go back in time to save this guy because he's under a curse. Of course. I love Curtis as well. And they meet a villain and they have to collaborate. And yeah, it's just an amazing, amazing book. I also quite love that the main character, Kate, or one of the main characters, Kate, because it's a dual point of view. Kate, she has one friend. She gets bullied, yeah, but she doesn't want to fit in. She likes being herself. And she doesn't really mind not fitting in. And I just love that. I mean, it's like a lot of books about people trying to fit in or people who want to fit in. Kate is herself, and she's like, I'm me. If you don't like me, go away. But I'm myself, and I just love that as a character and role model. And yeah, it's a great book to have in a great character to have in a YA book. And yeah, this book amazing. So yeah, after this, I kind of figured, okay, yeah, books can be amazing. After this, I found some different books that were cool, and also the next year we went. Actually, I went to England for summer break, and I found out that Marion Curley has a trilogy, or she had a trilogy that came out. The named The Dark and The Key. And yeah, this trilogy, I've reread it so many times, and it is just perfection. It's different point of view, which I also love to this day. Dual point of views or several point of views. It's time travel. They're going back to save the world. It's a secret society. It's impossible love stories. It has everything, and yeah, love it so much. These are the original covers. They have gotten new covers since then. There's been several covers since. But yeah, these books are amazing. I reread them so many times in middle school, and I still read them sometimes. It's been a while actually since I've reread them, so I should do that. But yeah. And then I found that in middle school I ended up buying lots of books online because I mean I lived in a small town, a smallish town. Wasn't that many cool books in my bookstores. You know, like I discovered there were cool books out there. The cool books weren't in my bookstore. And I think I kind of found randomly, maybe I kind of searched time travel. I don't remember quite exactly how, but anyway, I discovered Contingency by Peggy Martinez. I feel like maybe it was actually first published as a new adult, and then after a while, I think it was republished as a young adult. I think it's just new adult because the main character is 18 when you meet her in the first book. So she's not really a teen anymore. Well, she's a teen, but she's an older teen. But yeah, this is time travel. It is also chosen one, which also a trope that I love so much. It is the trope? It has vampires and werewolves, and I believe there's also other mythical creatures in there. I think there's some witches as well. So yeah, I love this series. Sadly, this is one of those series where so far there's 3 books out, and there's been talks about having a fourth book, but right now the fourth book hasn't come out. The third book came out in like 2014, I want to say. So yeah, I did hear some rumors that maybe Pigmentinos is putting a fourth book out, and that would be cool. So yeah. And then yeah, how like chronological are we gonna do this stuff? Yeah, let's go that way because I don't wanna I don't wanna I don't plan all the way. So I have the books here. I don't really know the order of them, but yeah. Because yeah, Mary Crowley was my first introduction, and then these all kind of books came kind of in the same time area, and yeah. So then we have me, as we I feel like kind of maybe everyone else in BookTube. Well, I suppose I wasn't on BookTube then. I did watch BookTube, but in 2010s, the early 2010s, you had these books which were everywhere. The Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. I have them in Norwegian because they were originally German, and I read them in Norwegian, and they're just great time travel story. There's also such a big lore in this universe. It's a secret society, which I also love so much. There's magical abilities, there's ghosts, there's family secrets. It is amazing. It feels, honestly though, it feels a bit more like middle grade than young adult. It's kind of a bit more childish and it's not very adult, maybe in a way. So I would say read this if you're in the mood for something not quite mature. So like there's no spice in there. There's some kisses and that's that. So yeah. I know you might be thinking like, oh, it's a Renee, it's a YA book. Well, in my mind, a YA book can have a spice scene. It can't have like 50% spice scenes, but I feel like 1 or 2 spice scenes in a YA book, for me, that is fine. I mean, kids do have sex, and if they don't when a lot of them think about it. So having one scene that's sexy, I feel like that's fine. Really. 2 scenes, fine. Don't have a lot of scenes with that, but some scenes, that's natural, in my mind at least. So yeah, just saying that. So yeah, Kirsten Gear, Ruby Red series, amazing. And then we have Wonder Dust. You have Wonder Dust, there's Protecting Truth, and Seeing Lights. And I mean, these just have such beautiful, beautiful covers. I just love them so much. So beautiful. But again, Secret Society, they travel back in time in an organized way. I feel like that's kind of honestly what I like, kind of love, prefer when it's organized, not when it's accidental, but when it's like on purpose. I love that. And yeah, this is also an amazing series. I haven't reread it in a while. I have to do that, but I remember reading it and loving it so much 10, 12 years ago. So, yeah. Then we have let's not. Let's yeah. I'm going back and oh yeah. And then we have, yeah, so then we have the second and the third um Peggy Martinez book, in the A Time Warper, which is what it's called. And yeah, you see the third book there. It's kind of dystopian. It kind of end up with dystopian, so I kind of very much want the fourth book. Peggy, please write a new book here. We need more things to happen, more happy things to happen, really, please. Yeah, and then we have Scorched by Mary Mancusi. This is time travel with dragons. And this is kind of like has an element where I also love so much when you have time travel, but there's also some magical ability to it. So this time travel, and there's magical abilities, like for example, in this world, there's teleportation. There's again words. There's telekinesis, all different kinds of magic abilities. In addition to traveling in time, this I mean you have dragons. One is dragons not cool. Never. I'm gonna tell you, never. Dragons are always the answer. Always. So yeah, love this book. This though kind of goes into a kind of a bit of embarrassing history where I've read the first two books and I haven't finished the series. I think it's kind of more or less because the third book wasn't out when I started the book series, and then I just haven't. But I do want to kind of finish it. So kind of, I want to finish it. And then we have Once Ever Never by Les Livingston. Uh, Again, she goes back in time. And I remember loving this book. I think it's actually a first in duology. I have just read the first book because I think the second book was just kind of sold out. But yeah, I remember enjoying this very, very much. So yeah, this is accidental time traveling, but still lovely book. Then we have Give Me a Little Moment. We're gonna do it correct here. And also, where is that? Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, but a moment. Give me a little moment. And I'm continuing to talk to you like you can listen to me and answer. No, I do not. There. Okay, so then you have Hourglass, Timepiece, and Infinity Glass. This is a companion series. So each book has a different main character, but it's the same. It's the same universe world because I'm gonna take it off a bit. It's the same friend group, but it's different main characters, different point of view they're told from, and each of them have a different magical ability. And yeah, I love it so much. Need to reread it, but yeah, love it very much. Then we have Timekeeper and Chainbreaker, which is the first two in the series. The third one I read on audio, so I don't have it physical. So Timekeeper, uh, this is a bit more on the edge. Kind of like, can I include it? Because this is more time magic than time traveling. But I mean, time can't stop in this world, so I'm gonna use it. It's my video. I can do what I want. You're not gonna be angry at me. I suppose you can, but that doesn't matter because I don't care. Yeah. So this takes place in the 1880s. It's an alternative history. So in this world, it's not illegal to be gay, though it's still kind of frowned a bit upon. But it's kind of cool to read alternative history where it's allowed to be gay in that time. And it also kind of uses real life in the Indian occupation and kind of uses real life history in that way. And in this book, they go to India, which is quite fun. And it also has a male love story, which is, yeah, the loveliest. And yeah, love this series so much. Though the third book wasn't all that good, honestly. I feel like, honestly, it's could honestly kind of be read as a standalone. The second book was good, but like the third book, like, what? What happened here? I feel like it kind of is just very good as a download, honestly. Though I suppose you do you. If you want to read all of it, you do you. That's just on your shoulders, your responsibility. So yeah. And then we have no, I'm not gonna do it more specifically. So yeah. Then we also have the Eve series. It is oh sorry. E is essence, perception, and enlightened. This is both time travel but also reincarnation, which I kind of like how it kind of plays with both of those aspects to it. I suppose reincarnation is not the same as time travel, but it's kind of it feels a bit similar. So yeah, and again, it's dual timelines, and I yeah love this one so much. And then we have give me a little moment. Then we have sorry the Dark Mirror trilogy. We have the Dark Mirror, Dark Passage, and Dark Destiny. So this is YA trilogy, as you see. It's all about these aristocrats who live in the what was 1800s? Yeah, 1800s. They all have magical abilities. They go to a special school. It's supposed to be a school for delinquents, but ends up a lot of them also have magical abilities and can time travel. So they time travel from 1800s to 1940s. So they time travel to like the Second World War, and it's kind of fun, like to read about someone who travels from the past to the past, well, to our past. So yeah, it's just I love this great characters, great story. I love it so much. I've read some of because this also offer also writes for adults. I've read one of her book for adults. Wasn't that good? I don't know if this is written on a pseudonym, if it's not by her. Maybe what happened when she wrote the adult book? I don't know. Anywho, this series amazing, amazing. I tell you, pick it up. It's so good. Then we have sorry, the next together and the last beginning. These are a companion duology. They can be read separately, but they kind of fill each other out in some ways. The first book is a reincarnation story, and the second book is a time travel story, and the second book is sapphic love story as well. First one is people in STEM love story, and both of these are just amazing. They're just very very good. Love them so much. And then we have Kissing Shakespeare, which is a YA standalone time travel book, and she goes back in time, and she meets she meets a young Will Shakespeare, which is quite fun, really. Honestly, for me, I love, as I said, I love time travel when there's like time travel and something else, time travel and magic, time travel and dragons, but also time travel and they meet real life characters, people. So fun. I love that so much. Here they do. And yeah, love it, love it, love it. And then you have Time Between Us. This is the first in a duology. I don't actually think I have the second book. I feel like this is one of those books also where the second book was not really needed. But yeah, this they time travel between 2000s and 90s, so it's more recent time travel, which I don't love, but time travel is always cool. And this was still a good written, well written book, so I still enjoyed it. Like as I said, these books I either love them or I love them. This one I love in a slight manner, but I still love it. And then we have pivot points. And I also have, okay, the second book in this trilogy. I don't know where the second book. I think it's. Anywho, yeah, I have it. I'm just not bothered to pick it up. I thought I had it here. I didn't. Boohoo. So yeah, this is kind of think time travel, but also X-Men, but also like dual like choices, like what if you did this instead of that. So there's some time travel, but it's also kind of not, and I suppose a bit more on the edge. But yeah, so you're gonna look into like what happens if you decide this and not this, and yeah, it's kind of interesting and really conundrum, and yeah, very much enjoy it. Then we have, yeah, let's get, yeah, where would you go from here? Because I have a few left, not a lot left now. Been for half an hour. That's so many good books, but I have a few left. Yeah, let's go there. So then I also have a duology that everyone talked about for like 15 years ago, 2010. This was everywhere on BookTube and BookNet for a reason. It's amazing. It is Passenger and a Wayfarer by Alexander Bracken. I love it so much. This is about a ship that kind of travels through time. It is pirates, secret societies, it's family secrets. It's, yeah, it is so good. I love it so much. Also, I feel like I need to reread it, but yeah, it is amazing. Uh, then we have, well, technically I should have talked about this book earlier, but yeah. So this is the last book in a series, and honestly, the time travel aspect of it, I would say it's, well, it's not. It happens early in the book, but it doesn't say on the back, so it could be slightly spoilers. But this book came out like 20 years ago now, so I feel like spoilers is kind of recent books that's been out for more than 10 years. No, if you haven't read it by now, boo hoo for you. That's, I mean, spoilers are, I mean, it's not that new book anymore. So yeah. So in Heaven Sent by Meg Cabot, there is a time travel aspect to it. I'm not gonna say more than that, but there is a, well, I'm gonna say it's a significant time travel aspect to it. And yeah, I love that aspect to it so much. It's very cool. I love how it's used. And also in general, this book series is amazing. Love it so much. Then we have, yeah, let's talk about there first. Then we have The Shadow by Marion Curley. Like, what happened? Yeah, it's another book in the Guardians of Time series. This book came out way later than the first books. It came out in 2018, so yeah, way late. But honestly, it's still an amazing book. It adds to the series and love it very much. There's been talks about a fifth book, but also Marion Crowley has kind of been, she had like cancer for 10 years because between this and the third book, didn't really write that much. Well, she has put out another trilogy, which is not that good. But she also had like a big break in her writing because of her cancer and health. And she updates her blog now, and then I feel like she's kind of right now a bit sick. So I don't know what's happening with book five, but yeah. But Marianne Kelly, if you're watching this, please, book five would be so cool, so cool. Mm, yeah, let's do that one first. Then we have a Norwegian time travel book, which yeah, we do have some cool books sometimes as Norwegians. Tidsrosen by Ørjan and Karlsson. Also, this author is from my town, my hometown, which is just so cool. So this is the first in a trilogy. The first two books are out. The third book has got a title, I believe, and I think I heard some rumors it was coming out last year, but I still haven't heard about any date. So I feel like that was kind of pushed. I did hear an interview by the author with the author where he said like he likes to he's he's again words, but he doesn't plan his books. He starts writing, and then it kind of comes after he starts to write. And so, like the second book, he kind of wrote himself into like a corner. So, like, how does he like how? Because I knew he was gonna write three books, but like, what's gonna happen after the ending of the second book? And then finally realized how it's gonna write the third book. So I believe the third book is coming soonish. But yeah, this book came out in 2015. So I believe, am I wrong there? I believe it's actually been that far. Yeah, 2015. So it's been 10 years, but it is an amazing book. I did start a reread of it some years ago. Yeah, you know what? Let's reread this one soon because I think that will be fun. Will be fun, really. And as of right now, I don't think this one exists in other languages. I don't really think it even exists in Swedish and Danish. So sorry, people. You can just enjoy the beautiful, beautiful cover. And sorry, you'll have to enjoy it from that aspect of it, really. Then we have The Future of Another Timeline by Annalee Newitz. I heard about this one from Jess, who's a booktuber. They had another booktube name first, and then they changed, and I can't remember the booktube name they use right now. But I'm gonna link them, and yeah, so you can. I'm gonna. I think they also have like a dedicated book review to this book, so I'm gonna link that one. But yeah, this is kind of different from all the other books, I would say, because a well, for most of the other books, this is science fiction based, which I mostly gravitate towards fantasy based, but this is science fiction based. And B, it's an adult book, which yeah, all of these other ones aren't. Though not to say I never read any adult fantasy time travel books, but yeah. But and also see, this one has trigger warnings, like trigger warnings. This one has rape scenes and talks about abortion and stuff like that. So we feel like it's quite timely. Did come out, like, I feel like it came out off in the first Trump era, I believe. Oh, it doesn't say. Yeah, I'm quite sure it came out in the first Trump era. So yeah, yeah. I think the neighbors doing some redecorating. Suddenly there's yeah, neighbors doing some stuff. Just ignore it. So yeah. Anywho, yeah, love it. It's a hard read, but it's a recommended read. I would say it's a read. I would say check it out. Even though it's not feel good, but anyway, but it's a book that I would say it's important and lots of twists and turns, which is fun. And then we have the newer ones. So we also yeah, and then what I'm going to talk about now is also a recent. It's also an adult book. I was supposed to say recent. It's not a recent book, but it's a book that I read recently. It's actually came out in 1980s, I believe. So yeah, it recently got a TV series. So I suppose that's maybe why I said recent. I don't know. Kindred, Octavia E. Butler. It's one of her standalones. It's about a black woman who travels back in time in the United States. So I mean, just that kind of shows you that it's not gonna be easy. And yeah, she ends up saving her great great grandfather, and then yeah, she goes back and forth, but she also ends up being a slave because reasons. And yeah, it's a look at racism, look at colonialism, look at equality, and yeah, harsh book, but good book, I would say. Definitely a good book. Then we have Hex Appeal by Kate Johnson. In the beginning, this is a witch book, but then I would say maybe a quarter into it, really. Quarter, halfway? Yeah, quarter into it ish. At Soundtrail aspects happens. And yeah, that's just, yeah, I love that aspects to it. Honestly, I loved it before the time travel happened, but yeah, adding time travel to this book just made it so much better. And yeah, it's amazing. This one is the first in a companion series. I haven't read the other one yet, but yeah, this is very good. I don't remember if this is very spicy. I think this maybe just might have some kisses in it. Anyway, yeah, so you know, might not be very spicy. Just FYI. Then I also read Pride, Prejudice, and the City by Rachel Lippincott. I read this last year and loved it so much. Honestly, right since ever since then, it's been one of my favorite books of all time. Like not just my favorite time travel books, but like of all time. It's amazing, amazing book. It's funny, it's touching, it's great characters, it's just original and different, and yeah, I love everything, everything about it. It's just, yeah, amazing. I have tried a different book by Rachel Lippincott. I didn't like it as much, so somehow this book, she ate something very good when she wrote this because this is amazing. Love it. It's sapphic love story. It's central. It's yeah, the best, the best. And then I was going to say something. Yeah, let's say then is the review. It's not. I'm just going to talk a bit first about a book that I'm currently reading because I haven't finished it, so I can't say it's not that one I finished. That's central based, but it's Charlie Hernandez and the Phantom of Time. So this is the fourth Charlie Hernandez book. So it's a great series. But in this series, because in every book in this world they save the world. It's one of those series. In this installment, they have to go back in time because saving the world means you have to go back in time. So they go back in time to 1950s, and they also meet someone from their future in the past. So that's also quite fun. Right now I'm in like in the middle ish in it, but I'm loving it so much. It's yeah, it's very fun. Like I love this series in general, but now it's time travel in it, so it's like yes, favorite aspects that I love from like general added to my favorite series of mine. Yeah, I just yeah, it's amazing. Also, I was about to jump over something, wait, go to the book review, but then I remembered, yeah, also last year, well, actually two alsos. Yeah, I mean, this is a long video, but you already knew that when you saw the timestamps. But yeah, so last year I read the Last Musketeer series by Stuart Gibbs. Read it on audio, so I don't have them as physical copies. Sorry. Um, but yeah, that's a middle grade series where the main character goes time traveling. Well, he and his parents go time traveling. They end up in the 1400s in Paris, France, when you have the musketeers, like the real musketeers. They're just younger than when we usually meet them. And it's just, yeah, it's an amazing, amazing series. I love it so much. It's so cool. Highly, highly recommend it. Yeah, that's a great middle grade series that I very much enjoy and recommend. It's finished all out, so you can enjoy it as a whole if you want, binge it. And then another one that I have to mention, honestly, have to, is an asset in King Arthur's in King Arthur's court. I'm right now I'm blanking out on the name of the author. The author has written other stuff, so it's kind of familiar author, but I'm blanking out at the moment. Anywho, this is an adult time travel standalone. It doesn't really have any spice either, so just so you know that. There is romance in it, but this is kind of more of a saving the world than a time travel romance. Because, I mean, I feel like you can either have time travel romance or you have time travel saving the world. Sometimes it's both, but often it's kind of one of the two. But here it's more like saving the world, but a bit of like maybe a bit of kissing here or there. And it's very, very funny. Yeah, very funny. And also, I love the plot twist in it because it has lots of plot twists. And yeah, and Asshat in King Arthur's court is, yeah. No, sorry, an Asshat in Henry VIII's court because she ends up travels to France. So yeah, sorry, an Asshat in Henry VIII's court. Well, she's not. Yeah, anyway, I'll link it in the window. So yeah. Mm. And then last but not least, I finished yesterday. I finished the best book. It's Tides of Time by Sarah M. Eden. I got it from NetGalley. It was came out in February, and I forgot about it, but I finished it recently. So yeah, I forgot about it. But when I got to it, it's like yes, yes, yes. This book is amazing. That book is actually kind of contradicts what I just said, but it's actually both. Well, it's not saving the world, but it's saving people. But it's also romance. So it's kind of like yeah, mix of those two plot lines. But one of the main characters is from the French Revolution, and she ends up traveling to the 1880s. So she time travels forward in time, and then she meets someone on a lighthouse on a coastal town in England. They meet, they fall in love, and then yeah, after a few weeks after she's there, more time travel shenanigans happen. But so it's kind of a mix between cozy cozy story around a coastal town in England, but also high stakes, big villains, big to do. And I loved it so much. Love the characters, love the storyline. It's amazing. Tides of Time by Sarah M. Eden. Also, yeah, that one doesn't have any spice in it. There's kissing, but not spice. So, just so you know that, I guess you have to read spice. I don't know if a lot of people have to read spice. I feel like some people prefer it. But I feel like either way, it's good to let you know from the start that it doesn't have it. So, yeah, there is that. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of it right for right now, really. Yeah, I feel like I was gonna say kind of it's, but yeah, actually, I mean, this is kind of also well, you know what? I'm gonna yeah, stay with me. So I also just started this book, Her Night at the Museum, which is not a time travel book, but that guy has been cursed, so he's been a statue, and then the curse lifts. So I suppose he's out of his time. So I'm gonna count it. I am currently reading it. I am. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I'm done. I'm a monster. I know. That's a kind of monster I am. But I'm loving it so much. Yeah. It's been described as for fans of Enchanted and Kate and Leopold. And yeah, I agree very much to that. But I would say Kate and Leopold with more spice. Definitely more spice. I'm just a few chapters into it and whoo, there's spice in it. Yeah, I love it. Love it so much. And my time travel video for you guys. It's a long one, but yeah, you know it when you start watching it. So yeah, and I suppose you could always watch this in parts if you want to. In yeah, watch a bit now and then. It's up to you really. And yeah, do you have a favorite time travel book? Have you read any of these that you also love? Maybe you haven't read time travel book at all. Uh, yeah, I feel like that's kind of it for today. And I'll see you on Friday. Bye.